What's written in the last page of the book is gonna happen. You might just be the only hope of keeping light from expiring.
You really think that I'm the right person for this?
Ava, you're the only person for this.
In Kingdom Hearts Union Cross, Ava was tasked with the role of assigning 5 Union leaders for the Dandelions after the Keyblade War. Ava was also tasked with the role of giving one specific Union leader the Book of Prophecies, as it would help shape the world needed for them in Union Cross. However, some unforeseen circumstances have messed up the Master's seemingly perfect plan, one flaw at a time. This raises questions like, why is the Master's plan failing? Who is responsible? And how will this relate to Sora's current predicament? I will do my best to answer these questions in my Kingdom Hearts 4 True Bearer theory. During Kingdom Hearts Union Cross, they have one by one with story updates revealed one major mystery, at the same time also revealing some subtle answers about the mysteries that were already given to us. And just when you think you may have an answer or a solution to come up with that seems sound, it's immediately disproven with another story update. Here's what I mean. When Strelitzia was first revealed, we assumed that she was Kyrie's grandma. However, that was disproven shortly afterwards with her death. Then a big mystery came about who killed Strelitzia. At the same time, we were introduced to Lauriam, the somebody of Marluxia, so we all pointed the finger at him. Soon afterwards, though, it was revealed that Lauriam is Strelitzia's older brother and is actively looking for her. Roughly the same time, not only did Brain reveal himself to be a supposed virus in the Master's program, but Luxu in the Kingdom Hearts 3 Secret Reports talks about a virus in the Master's program. So all logic at that time pointed to the killer being Brain. We knew that whoever murdered Strelitzia is probably the imposter in the Union leaders. However, it was recently revealed that Brain was actually chosen to be a Union leader, and shortly afterwards we learned that Strelitzia was meant to inherit the Book of Prophecies, and the person who was not meant to be a Union leader was Ventus. There was also another mystery added to Kingdom Hearts Union Cross, and that was, who is Darkness? Darkness is more and more to be implied to be someone who isn't a Union leader, as we see all 5 of them doing something while Darkness is out and about. Now, frankly, it's near impossible right now to fairly pinpoint who Darkness is, but may I please direct you to my good friend, The Secret Reports, who has actually developed an amazing theory on Ava being Darkness. This theory won't have any info based off that, but still you should go check it out. She's amazing. However, there is one thing that actually gets more and more revealed with no lingering questions added to the Union Cross story with its updates. And that is that Ava, the foreteller who was tasked with creating the Dandelions and ensuring that they move to the realm of Unchained for the Master's plan, is deviating from the Master's plan. First, Ava seems to ignore her task of guiding the Keyblade wielders and fights in the war, and even has our players survive the war with memories of the war by having Ephemer and Scold pick him up. The talk about the virus in the Master's plan is also a big thing. Then Ava telling Brain a little bit about the future and what will happen to him and the other Dandelions. Then Ava giving someone the Book of Prophecies that wasn't meant to, and leaving a note letting Brain know who actually was meant to inherit the Book of Prophecies. By telling Brain that something is not the way it's supposed to be, history is actually doomed to not repeat itself. Okay, so we still don't know who killed Strelitzia, but we know that Ava seemingly knew that Strelitzia would be killed and seems to have made an effort to keep Strelitzia out of the plan. Remember what the Master said? The person who was supposed to inherit the Book of Prophecies was supposedly crucial for shaping and maintaining the realm of Unchained we were sent to. It seems more and more that darkness could be off. Wait a second. Mal? So what could all this mean for the future of Union Cross? For the future of the Kingdom Hearts series? For Ava? Well, I think that Ava is making sure that a change sort of happens so that there is a sort of wild card that will thwart the Master's plan. Remember what was revealed in the last Union Cross story update? Ven was never meant to be a Union leader. I think Ava recruited Ven since she knew that Strelitzia was going to be out of the picture, because she knew that things would line up into place to fight the Master's plan so long as Ven was put in the right place. If Ven, who was never meant to be a Union leader, wasn't a Union leader, he wouldn't have used the Ark to get to the past. Due to him going to the past, he came into contact with Sora and helped him become a Keyblade wielder, someone who was never meant to be a wielder. Thanks to Sora being a wielder, the Guardians were able to defeat Xehanort, something that was never meant to happen. Ava is ensuring that the literal last thing for anyone to expect happens, as that isn't written in the book. Think about it. What's the one way you can defeat someone who can see into the future and has seen how the world is supposed to turn out? By throwing someone at him who he doesn't know, hasn't seen, and doesn't expect. That's why it's absolutely vital for Sora to be okay and is in prime condition for Ava. That's why someone who was certainly powerful enough after going through some trials was told by someone, possibly Ava, to save Sora. Maybe that's why Ava didn't appear at the Keyblade graveyard with the other foretellers. She's currently in Shibuya. Maybe she is working with Yozora to stop the Master. You may be thinking, hold on, Noir, but if the thing with Ven and Sora happened, even if you say it wasn't meant to, wouldn't it appear in the Book of Prophecies? No, not really. Because the Book of Prophecies was written by the Master when he looked forward in time before anyone else had a Book of Prophecies and knew what would happen in the future. So he only saw basically one timeline where no one knows anything about the future. And that's what the Book of Prophecies is based off of. Now, because he wrote out the Book of Prophecies and gave them to several people and they now know what happens in the future, that changes everything. Now, Ava could still very well be the traitor. Okay, so I know that me and others have said that multiple times at this point, but there's something I really want to point out. First, I want to address the actual passage we were given from the Lost Page. After learning about this, we immediately see Ava strike at Lushu after seemingly meeting all the conditions which causes the bells to toll, which signaled the start of the war. But I feel like this is just kind of a huge coincidence. I know typically there are no coincidences in Kingdom Hearts, but I'm just trying to say that it's probably incredibly misleading. Kingdom Hearts has done this before, because when was the last time they were ever this direct? Remember how we all thought that the Nameless Star was Strelitzia, and the clues seem to have suggested so? But now, we know, thanks to what Sora said when he meets Yozora, that the Nameless Star is actually, or probably, the girl that we see in the Vermex commercial, not Strelitzia. Second thing to point out is that we don't know the entire entry of the Lost Page. We only know a part of this, and we know this because if we remember from Keyback cover, Gula said that the traitor is the one who bears the sigil, but the passage we get from Gula before the Keyblade War starts says nothing about a sigil. Now, Ava could still very well be the traitor, but we now know that it wasn't this particular instance that branded her as a traitor. The point is that we don't fully know all the details about the traitor's actions and who they are. But how does that relate back to the future of the series? I'll tell you. Like I said, I think the Master can only be stopped by someone who the Master absolutely could not expect because of their upbringing was never meant to happen. The Master is completely unprepared for the arrival of Sora. Sora will make the Master realize how big a wrench was thrown into his plans. quick shout out to the boy 13 Vestal for finding this phrase that he used when he put in a map code for Shibuya in the Cage 3 files, and only one thing appears when he uses that map code. The Master will notice Sora in Shibuya, and by the way, he is actually not that far from him. Standing on top of the 104 building where we fight Yozora, you can see this sort of blue building with this bluish rectangle on the side of it. Well, that's actually the building that the Master stands on during the Kingdom Hearts 3 secret ending. He will realize that Sora is some sort of foreign virus in his program and recognize that he is in possession of not only a Keyblade, but the actual Keyblade, and simply says one thing to him: you are not the true bearer. It will probably be at this point where Ava sort of makes her presence known and tries to protect Sora along with Yozora, but that's pretty much all I have for you guys today. I know this is kind of a shorter theory. Just know that this is a part 1 to a bigger theory. Now, they will both be related, but they won't really depend on one another. You'll understand what I mean when the second part of the theory comes out, and expect it to come out sometime after I finally release Project Reconnect, which that should be coming soon. So keep an eye out for both of those videos. But other than that, hope you guys enjoyed this. Hope you guys rate, comment, and subscribe. Check out my Twitter and my Twitch. Check out my Discord in the description below. This has been Noir Low Bomber, and I'm out.